And good morning, everybody. And it is Wonderful Wednesday with Dori Staehle. Now, I met Dori and it was before COVID.
Yes.
So I met you at a networking. I was brand new off the ship, if you like, from England. And we got on straight away because I love your energy. You're so enthusiastic, Dori, and you beat a drum. So
Lots of them.
yeah, exactly. So who wouldn't love you, and you do it to help people.
Right.
Even more in my place. So it's like, yeah, so we got on immediately and we
Yes.
had one-to-one. And anyway, Dori, tell people your story. Tell us about you.
Sure. I'll give you the short version because I know we're pressed for time here. I have always been interested in rhythm and drumming since I was a little girl. Did not even have the opportunity to test it out until age 47 when I signed up to audition for a church band in Apex. And I have good rhythm, was able to follow the beat, and they invited me to join them. I passed the audition and I played with them for 13 years. But in the very beginning, I realized that playing hand drums, especially bongos and conga drums, made me feel really good. So I wondered if there was science behind it because I felt both relaxed and energized at the same time. A young student I was working with at the time, had a tutoring business. He said, "Oh, Miss Dori, that's how Ritalin and Adderall work." And I went, "Oh, maybe we found a natural solution." So I started testing it out on me. A lot of my tutoring students and things like that, developed customized techniques. Fast forward, it's 11 years later, I've worked with thousands of people in both private drum therapy sessions. I do drum therapy. It's different. It's a relatively new field, but what I do is very, very customized and creative. It's not like anything else that's out there. So if you say, "Oh, I know somebody who does what you do," no, you don't. I'm the only certified drum therapist in North Carolina and only one of 3 in the South. So chances are you don't know what this is, but that's okay. To sum it up, it's creative, customized wellness and empowerment programs that rock. I work with individuals one-on-one, we drum together, or with corporations, both virtually and in person. I'm also a motivational speaker and an author, so sometimes they get the whole combo deal. It's a full package.
And you're amazing. And you're so right, because I use bilateral analysis stimulation technique to help people. And again, of course, left and right is very good with neurocognitive disorders. And you do that. And you do it with people living with dementia. You do that in the homes, don't you? You take your drums, and I'm so excited by what you do.
Yeah, folks, Claudia and I could talk for days about brains and science, otherwise known as neuroscience, because there's so much brain science behind this. And it does activate the left and right hemispheres of your brain so you can focus better. It boosts your clarity, your confidence, your mindset, your memory. I've worked with kids on the autism spectrum and with other disabilities, and also seniors and stressed out entrepreneurs. And again, stressed out employees too. So it works pretty well, very, very quickly.
And who doesn't love to,
Oh gosh, I don't know who wouldn't want to whack on a drum, people. It's a great release. Bam, hit that thing. I mean, it feels great.
Yeah, I think everybody ought to have a drum. In fact, give us a beat now. Have you got one there?
Sure, yeah. And what I use are djembe drums. Yes, it looks like an African drum, but I do not do African drumming. It's not my thing, folks. I'm a rock chick. So I might just do. I mean, when you hit the middle of that thing, the bass, boy, really deep tones, a lot of vibrations goes through your body, through the room. It feels really good. And everybody who tries it says, "I had no idea this would feel so good." What do you think I've been trying to tell you for the past 11 years, people?
I know.
You got to try it, and then you'll get it.
Well, it hits all the senses.
Yeah,
You literally can feel it vibrating through your body.
Right.
You've got the sounds. You've got the visual of it. It's like, and I bet the skin, it smells. So,
Well, actually, what I use is the base is synthetic. It's actually PVC pipe. And the top, apologies to the vegans out there, I'm a semi-vegan, but it's a goat skin head, and because it has more bounce. I have pure synthetic ones, and they're very stiff. I got those originally thinking those would be good for the types of kids I was working with because I can disinfect them, but I didn't like the sound. So I started acquiring other ones with more bounce. I can still wipe them down anyway. It's not a biggie. But yeah, the vibrations, it's how you hit the drum, where you hit it, and what type of drum you use, and also what I say while we're drumming. Things come. I get divine downloads, I tell people, because there's a spiritual element to this as well, in my case, because drumming helped me heal after a freak accident. That's another story for another time.
Okay.
It's my 10-year heal-iversary. So I did in 2 weeks what the doctors couldn't do in 3 long years, thanks to drumming and divine intervention. I do not promise miraculous healing, folks, but I can promise that you will feel less stressed and you will feel joy. Those 2 are a given.
Oh yeah, well look at you. You're imanting it. I mean, absolutely. I just love it, Dori. Now, it was interesting because the other day you put something a little bit maybe controversial or not so, but it was very interesting on your post. Tell us about it. Let's have a discussion about this.
Sure.
Now.
It just popped into my head. Sometimes my best posts are things that just pop into my head and I put it out there. And it was about the word invisible. Mainly because a lot of women of a certain age, not everyone, but some of us have noticed, and this is just facts, #facts, people. Don't feel sorry for me or anything like that. It's not about me. It's about the fact that sometimes we get ignored when we walk into stores or restaurants or whatever, especially younger people. They will look right past us, usually over our heads. Even if we smile and nod, it's like we don't exist. So I was noticing this pattern, and way back before COVID, I was doing a lot of group drumming classes and workshops at the community center. You might remember those. Now I do them at my church. But a lot of the women were reporting, because I always say, how are you feeling today? What would your drum beat sound like? And then I can interpret the beat. Oh, that's a stressed out beat. Oh, you're feeling very hyper. And some people were doing this, a very slow, kind of sad beat. And I said, are you kind of tired? And then they said they felt invisible and they felt lost. They didn't know what they were supposed to be doing in this stage of their life. And that's why all my businesses, this is business number 4, all of them have had next stage in the title, because it's always been about moving people onto the next stage. So based on a lot of our discussions, both with private clients, same thing, and always within like the 45 to 65-year-old age group. And then I wrote my book. Whoops, let's get the light off of it. There we go. Rise Up and Rock, Activating Your God-Given Purpose. It's on Amazon. It's my second book. But this one was really targeting mostly women and teens. It does have a more of a Christian feel to it than the first one. But keep in mind that for me, it's not about religion. It's about a relationship with Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit. So it's totally different than when people, oh, you're a Christian, they want to back away. It's like, hey, folks, let's talk. But anyway, the book addresses tips and motivation for people who feel stuck, scattered, stressed out, don't know what to do in their next stage. So I have a lot of women in the book who are local. So I didn't want the book to be just about me. I wanted people to know this isn't just my story. This is women who decided enough's enough. I am going to rise up and rock and create something brand new. So it's all about reinvention. You can reinvent yourself at any age. So even though society tells us many times that, oh, we're too old, we should just retire and go home and knit or something. I don't know. No, I don't think I could ever sit still anyway. I got all these drums. I do play the full drum kit, otherwise known as the drum set. I have a lot of energy. There's no way I'm just going to sit home and twiddle my thumbs and whatever. So it doesn't mean that, you reach a certain point and that's it. Because some women were wondering, should I retire? I'm like, retire? I like what I think it was Pam Horton who said, nah, not retire, we're refiring. I'm like, yeah, I like that. We are refiring, we are recharging, we're thinking about what's next. What else can we do? We have plenty of years left, people. So
I agree. It's like, sometimes, Dori, if people, and I got this from a friend of mine, they say, where's your future? And they'll just go there. I go up behind them. I said, do I have permission to open your arm, to touch you? And I pull their arms open. I go, that's your future.
Good.
And they go, oh, so you're going to live until you're 100. So
You know,
what else can you do?
Exactly. A lot of times when I'm working with private clients, they're all these limited beliefs and they feel stuck and they just can't imagine anything else. And then I ask them, just like you, can I tell you what I see? Because sometimes I get visions when I'm working with people. Don't freak out. It just happens. And I say, oh, I see way more for you. And you could do this, this, and this. Have you ever considered that? It would be really easy to do, because they overthink things and they overcomplicate it. So then they hit a wall. And I can't possibly do that because I'm too fill in the blank, too old. I don't have enough money. I don't have the contacts and connections. Oh, people, come on. I started Next Stage drumming well into my 50s. And I was very limited resources and I was severely injured. I was still going out there and I was determined. And that's part of it. It's your attitude.
Yeah, I agree. And it's so important. I mean, I moved over here from England in my when I was 50. And it's like, it's completely had to restart.
Yeah.
And it makes you do it. And actually, I've learned so much more, and there's so much more opportunities, and it's like it's so invigorating, and it's like, yes, that's my future. It's like it's exciting, and I completely agree. We can reinvent ourselves. And Dori, it's really sad because I do see a lot of people who think, well, who would want to listen to me? I am I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. And I do help people with those. I get to the root of the issue. And sadly, it does stem from either past relationships or it's like that invisibility, even from their parents. Their parents didn't notice them. Families didn't notice them.
Exactly. And I mentioned this in my book that a lot of the women had those limiting beliefs because something happened in the past. And either somebody said something and they believed it and it stuck with them. And sometimes, as you know, I'm preaching to the choir here, it's on a very subconscious level. So they don't even realize it, but we drum it out and they go from a very tentative, this is a, lack of confidence kind of beat. I'm like, is that all you got? Hit that thing. And believe it or not, just after a few sessions, the beat shifts without me even really doing anything. It happens naturally. And then they create what I call the warrior woman beat. And it gets really, and where did that come from? And it's funny because it gave them confidence. And I tell them, see, if you can manage to play an instrument that you have never touched before, imagine what else you can do. And then they're like, their mind is blown and they think, I have been limiting myself. I can do other things and I can create a new reality. And even if something's happened to you people like with me, who gets run over by a speeding bicyclist in a crowd of 200 people and gets severely injured and triggers a rare disease that I no longer have, everything's fine. But I mean, it's like you don't expect it. So you have a choice. You can switch it. I always tell people, switch your beat. You can make your mess your message. That's not mine. I wish it were, but that's someone else's quote. I think it's Robin Roberts from Good Morning America, who was a cancer patient. And now she's cancer free. But if you have something that happened that you feel you can't move past, you got to switch it.
Oh, yeah. And tell yourself a new story.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then what you're doing there is actually, I can only imagine, is that you're actually beating in the new story.
You see, you get it. There we go.
And that's, well, because it's, because I do that, but not with the drum.
Right.
But it's, but I might come to you and learn that drum bit because actually I think that's really floats my boat.
Yeah. And one woman said, so Dori, if you change your beat, you can change your brain and change your life. I'm like, I like that. I got to use that as a tagline. But I thought the whole change your brain thing might freak people out. So change your beat, shift your mindset, change your life. How's that? But you're changing your story. You changed your song or your rhythm and you created a new song and a new story.
Yeah, and you're feeling it.
It's so freeing. Yeah.
So it's actually, and that, as you and I both know, is that it's so important to change your physiology. If you're feeling like that, it's like, just change it now.
Yeah, and it's true, sometimes when I even want to go into networking events, well, I'm going to be honest, I mentioned the word drumming and I could see, especially the guys, some of them click off. They're starting to think drum lessons, drum circle, they don't know. And I'm like, ask me questions. One woman said in the very beginning, because people were calling me Dori the drum chick. I play lots of different types of drums. And I've played in cover bands and with solo artists. Most people don't know that, but I really have played professionally. I do play in church bands and things, rock bands, folks. We're not doing hymns, not doing hymns. So one woman said, "You don't look like a drum chick," just like that. I went, "Oh, excuse me. I guess because I don't have tattoos all over my arms." I said, "Really? You should hear me play. I've got skills." It's like I had to shut it down because I thought, really, stop putting me in a box.
Oh, I know. Do you know what? I really dislike that. And we go back to that invisibility.
Yeah.
It's that thing of like people putting you in a box and shoving you away in a corner. And so what can we do about it, Dori? What can we do to help people feel less invisible so that they feel seen? Come on.
I think they have to understand everyone has a purpose, right? But there's different purposes for different seasons. So even though if you feel like you've lost your purpose, you might have a new one. So you have to uncover that. You have to uncover your potential. And you also have to understand your identity. And, I work with people of all different faiths, but I say you have to understand who you are. Number one. And for the Christians or anyone else, you might have different beliefs, understand whose you are. I always say, I'm a daughter of the Most High King. I'm anointed and appointed, and I've got an assignment for this season to teach people how to rise up and rock. I know what my mission and my assignment is. And once you find that, you are unstoppable. You don't care what anybody thinks. I'm 65, people. I've got 3 grandkids. I am one rockin' grandma. And if you don't get what I do, or you want to, write it off, hey, come talk to me. We'll have a one-on-one. We'll go out for coffee, whatever you want to do. And just take the time to embrace possibilities. Don't put people in a box based on what you think they do, and don't put yourself in a box, because there's way more that you could do regardless of your age.
Absolutely. And get curious, ask yourself questions. Well, what else? What else? What else could I do? What am I good at? What do I like? What do people need? What are your strengths? And and find that. And what do you love doing? It's that what you will fuel your passion about it. Now, we also have to understand, Dori, some people, I believe, do like to be behind the scenes, do like to be invisible. Maybe that's part of their story.
True. Let's speak to the introverts there, because I know, of having worked with some of them, just going into a room or an event, with other people, they hold back. And I'm actually an ambivert, believe it or not. Everybody thinks that I'm this, crazy extrovert, and I can be, especially when I'm on stage. If I'm speaking or talking to a group or even doing an event, I'm on. It's way more energy than at a networking event, because let's face it, they're like early in the morning people. But I tell them it's okay to kind of take a step back, take a breath, and assess the situation. But you do have to step in. You do need to let people know that you're there.
Yeah.
And you need to, understand your value and what you bring to the table. Then you won't dim your light, right? You'll let your light shine.
Yeah, it's about loving yourself and
Right.
learning that as well. And as you say, beating your own drum for you, whatever that is for you. So, Dori, you and I, we could probably talk for hours. And so I'm going to have you back on because this has been brilliant, and you'll share all your links and how people can get in touch with you, because you are one hell of a rock chick.
I just tell people what I do is way more than drumming, people. So you never know.
You are amazing. So everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard.
Goodbye from Dori Staehle.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye. Thanks so much. You've been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for the